G'day guys and gal. Feeling fear is a natural and healthy part of life. The whole concept of being fearless or overcoming all your fears is stupid. Sure, all those video game or movie protagonists that may have no fear seem badass, but it takes years of intense psychological trauma for them to reach that state. And their dicks probably don't work that well. Space Marines are a great example of this. Sure, they are the heroic defenders of humanity, but they have a wide plethora of issues. If you're able to brainwash and psycho-indoctrinate someone so much that they feel no fear as they lunge into melee combat against a gigantic beast that wishes to devour them and their comrades, then they have issues. But we aren't here today to talk about the mess that is a Space Marine's brain. That would take multiple videos. We are instead here to talk about the things in 40k that are so messed up, scary, or traumatizing that they can make a fearless man feel fear. Before we get started, in Warhammer, bigger is always better, but that's not always the case for real life. Sometimes slick, sharp, and ergonomic is the way to go. Hence why today I've partnered up with The Ridge to bring you the Ridge Wallet. The Ridge Wallet is the latest and greatest in wallet innovation, holding all your essential cards and cash whilst having none of the bulge of a traditional fake leather wallet that you got for Christmas. It's also incredibly tough and comes with a lifetime warranty. Now that is a brand who backs their product. I guarantee this will be the first wallet you own that you can fit and store in your mouth. Coming in 30 colours and styles, there is plenty of options to make this snazzy bit of metal yours. I personally chose the carbon fibre style because it looks cool. Imagine this, you're in a bar, a hot chick looks at you, you go over to her and offer to buy her a drink, then you whip out and fumble the crunchy old wallet that belonged to your dad, full of coins, receipts and parking tickets. You ain't getting lucky with that, bro. I mean, you ain't getting lucky anyway because that situation will never happen due to the fact that you watch Warhammer lore videos in your spare time, but you get what I mean. So if you want to boost your chances of getting lucky in your own imagination by getting your very own Ridge wallet, then click my link below and use the code Majorkill to get 10% off and free shipping worldwide. And if for some strange reason you don't love it, then the Ridge offers a 45-day money-back guarantee. Cheers to the Ridge for sponsoring this video. Today we'll go over specific things or events from 40k lore that have struck fear into the heart of an Astartes. I'm also being quite specific about proper fear here, not stuff like fear of failure or seeing a giant spider xeno and being like, oh dear, that's a big boy, or other pussy forms of fear like that. No, I'm talking frozen in fear, oh shit kind of fear. We got it? Good. Let's get into it. Firstly, I feel like I need to provide some context on a Space Marine's lack of fear to really drive home how spooky some of the situation I'm about to mention must have been. Space Marines have repeatedly said fear is not a part of their vocab. The Emperor said the same thing, but it's not entirely true. After all, the Biggie himself was arguably the first to make an Astartes know fear. After Lorgar had fiddled beyond the acceptable quota of choir boys, the Emperor came to Lorgar to set him straight and teach him a lesson. He wanted to show Lorgar that serving a god is not a nice experience, hence the Biggie psychically raped all of the word bearers and forced them to kneel. The word bearers couldn't control their bodies as they stammered, stuttered, and trembled, like puppies getting told off after eating something they weren't supposed to. The next situation we have of a Space Marine feeling fear was when Saul Tarvitz realized that his Primarch, along with the rest of the traitor Primarchs, were about to virus bomb the living shit out of his battle brothers. In a single moment, his extremely fast-thinking process and high IQ meant that he was able to process the fact that not only did Daddy not love him, but they had turned against his loyal brothers and the Emperor himself. He was shocked. His world shattered. He was frozen in horror whilst the reality of the situation weighed down on him. To his credit, he then beelined to the planet on a suicide mission to warn his brothers of what was about to happen. So he did take a healthy approach in facing his fear and he didn't let it stop him. But by God, did his Space Marine piss filtration system get a workout. It would be like one day catching your loving parents putting rat poison in your brother's cereal. Completely unexpected and horrifying. A normal human would be able to make up lies and justifications to protect their fragile brains. Maybe it's a prank. Maybe the cereal will be used to catch rats. But a Space Marine thinks so clearly and quickly that they wouldn't have these innate denialistic human reactions. This wouldn't be the first time Saul felt fear. Poor guy. After saving most of his brothers from the virus bombs, he leads the defense of the planet now against his traitorous dickhead brothers and cousins, and he put in a good shift. But when Angron landed on the planet and begun Naruto running at Saul and the men around him, he was like, fuck this, and legged it. To be fair to him, he did consider staying to fight the big man, but then some loyalist world eaters were like, nah bro, time to go. And Saul was like, oh man, you sure? Okay, I guess if you're assisting then I go, that's probably a good idea. Totally would have stayed though, you know? Yeah. Can't really blame him for that one though. Despite being a walking abortion advertisement, Angron was one scary motherfucker. The Istvan atrocity was a bad day for Space Marines, most notably Garviel Loken. After he somehow survived the duel with Abaddon and the second exterminatus of the planet, he was left alone on the now dead world with only the mutilated or zombified corpses of his comrades to keep him company. He went insane and he admitted to feeling fear. This is coming from the Marine who is quoted as saying that Astartes don't feel fear, but I guess getting nuked twice and then attacked by the rotting corpses of your brothers is able to change your mind about that. Can't say I blame the man. There are multiple instances during the Horus Heresy of Space Marines feeling genuine fear, and it's totally understandable. They went from the conquerors of the galaxy to having to kill their cousins and fight demons. During the Battle of Calth, an Ultramarine is gripped by fear and can physically feel his mind trying to fight off the terror as a demon manifests in front of him. On the other end of the stick, a group of word bearers are completely shocked and freeze when Gilliman teleports in front of them before skull-fucking them all to death. Even the Gal Vorbak, which are demon marines, were frozen in fear and shock. Gilliman's charge was actually a pretty poor tactical decision, and if they reacted properly, they could have fucked him up, but you know, they didn't. So from this we can gather that Primarchs are a solid way to make a Space Marine wet themselves, as well as experiencing demonic shit for the first time. The supreme level of heresy that Horus created when he became a jihadist is also enough to trigger a fear response in Astartes, and obviously the Emperor as well. I feel like that goes without saying. After the Istvan Dropside massacre, there is one of my favourite scenes in Warhammer. Basically, Corvus and his few remaining men are trying to escape a word-bearer ship that wants to blow them up. Instead of continuing to play cat and mouse, Corvus full speed charges the word-bearer's ships and just before collision, opens up a warp portal to do a warp jump through. His ship goes through with the Gellerfields on, no worries, but the word-bearer's ship proximity to the warp jump meant that they got sucked into the warp as well, without their Gellerfields. One of the word bearers is standing in his ship in shock as his human crew members are screaming and clawing their own eyes out. Suddenly, he feels something moving in his stomach, but he's too scared to look down and see what it is. The Night Lords brag about being able to induce fear in Astartes, and I don't doubt it, you know, those guys are messed up. After all, their dad is Conrad Kurse, who has been shown to be able to pull this off before, making an Imperial fist feel genuine fear as he stalked him. I mean, this is the guy that plays the sound of a planetary governor's young daughter being flayed alive over the worldwide speaker, so it makes sense that if anyone can make a fist fear being fisted, it's him. It's not just Primarchs, demons, and the God Emperor of mankind that makes Astartes shit themselves. The Dark Elder have managed it as well before. When a Night Lord warband raided a Dark Elder ship and killed a number of homunculi and their servants, the Dark Elder were pissed, especially the homunculi, who had to be resurrected. It was very embarrassing. Hence when the Night Lords were raiding an Imperial planet, the Dark Elder knew it was time for revenge. The Night Lords did their usual shit, cutting the power and electricity, then began tormenting the people from the shadows. The Dark Elder laughed at this child's play, and they deployed a device which was like an anti-sun. It radiated darkness and completely blinded everyone on the planet. Even the Night Lords who get an erection from darkness felt helpless and could barely navigate the pitch black planet. The Dark Elder then began relentlessly ambushing and attacking the Night Lords at any time and place. No warning was rung before the Dark Elder striked. The Night Lords feeling the terror of their own tactics, in the hands of a true master, being used against them. It's like that scene in Batman when Bane monologues about how Batman embraced the darkness, but Bane was born into it. The Dark Elder hero are toying with the Night Lords. They did some damage, but their main goal was just to embarrass them. When the Night Lords finally blew up the anti-sun, all the Dark Elder were gone, leaving nothing behind but the stench of Space Marine urine. I personally love this, as it's just such a Dark Elder thing to do. Take the one thing the Night Lords are known for, then completely shit on them at it. It'd be like them building a bigger sandcastle than an Imperial fist. This would not be the last time that the Night Lords felt fear from an Elder. This time from the Phoenix Lord Janzar, who looks spookier than a Dark Elder, but you know that's none of my business. This bitch is crazy. A squad of elite Night Lords in Terminator armor are gathered together and they can hear raindrops hammering above them. They soon realized, however, that those aren't raindrops. That's Janzar coming for them at full speed. When she emerges, they open fire, a full squad spraying the ever-living fuck at her. Not a single bullet hits her, as she then begins to dance around, slicing off heads, arms, legs, disembowing, just causing an absolute ruckus. The Night Lords panic, and their commander takes note that their reloading and formation is no longer synchronized. When his men try to contact them, he shouts at them to shut the fuck up as he feebly tries to kill the blurry death ball that is Janzar. The fact that the Elder of all people are the ones making the Night Lords piss themselves puts a smile on my face. There are a lot of differences between Great Crusade era Marines and modern day 40k Marines. The Great Crusade was a time of glory and victory. Many of the Marines were quite humanized and were the bastion of hope. In modern 40k, all of the Marines are hardened and cynical, and they also have a high level of psycho-indoctrination as well as having to deal with the copious amounts of bullshit that the galaxy of 40k throws at them. That combined with demons not being a surprise anymore and Primarchs not really being much of a thing means we don't get too many instances of Space Marines shaking in their boots these days. However, Guilliman would once again teach Chaos how to fear. During his resurrection, a battle was raging around him. When he finally awoke and stood up, the fighting stopped. His men looked at him in awe, whilst the traitors looked at him in horror. The fighting only restarted when a Cornite Berserker Leroy Jenkins that Guilliman and was swatted like a fly. Funny that the Primarch who people give shit to for being a softy textbook humping nerd is also one of the main things in Warhammer that Chaos Marines fear. Blue is now the colour of the spook. Looking for instances of Space Marines feeling fear is like looking for a nudie picture with Safe Search turned on. It's a bit of a challenge. Alas, I believe we have gathered up a nice collection of in-lore instances. If you know of any other moments where the stench of a Space Marine shit smearing in their own power armor is present, then let me know in the comments below. And that does us for today, guys. How to make a Space Marine feel fear. If you enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Where only $1 per month give you access to a boatload of Warhammer hentai. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more spooky content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.